I overheard my girlfriend say, "He's going to propose tonight. Watch me say no and make him cry." I was standing outside our apartment door with grocery bags cutting into my fingers. Her voice carried through the thin walls like a knife slicing through everything I thought I knew. We'd been together 5 years. I had the $9,200 ring hidden in my winter coat pocket. I'd been planning this proposal for 14 months, saved every bonus, worked overtime on weekends. I walked in like nothing happened. Maya was on the couch FaceTiming her sister Priya. She quickly said goodbye when she saw me. "You're home early, babe." She smiled, that same smile I fell in love with at that coffee shop in Brooklyn. That night, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't think. I kept replaying her words over and over until they burned into my brain. The plan was to propose Saturday at her parents' anniversary party. 43 people would be watching, her whole family. My parents flying in from Ohio. Friday was torture. Maya kept touching my arm, asking if I was stressed about the Henderson account at work. She made my favorite chicken tikka masala from scratch. She kissed my forehead before bed and whispered that she loved me. I wanted to scream at her. How do you spend 5 years with someone just to humiliate them in front of everyone they love? I'd asked her father for permission 2 months ago at that steakhouse on 5th Avenue. He actually cried and called me son, said he'd been waiting for this day. What a joke. Saturday came. I was completely numb. We drove to her parents' house in Westchester. She talked about repainting our bathroom sage green, about her coworker Jessica's divorce drama, about wanting to adopt a golden retriever puppy next spring. Every word felt like glass in my throat. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. Part of me wanted to turn the car around and drive until I ran out of gas. Part of me needed to see it with my own eyes, needed proof that the woman I loved could actually be that cruel. Her parents' house was decorated beautifully. 30 years of marriage. White roses everywhere. A photographer capturing candid moments. Dinner was perfect. Her mom made lamb biryani and garlic naan. Her dad gave a speech about what love really means. Maya laughed at all the right moments, touched my shoulder, squeezed my hand under the table, acted like the perfect girlfriend. I kept watching her face, searching for any sign of what I'd heard, but she just looked like Maya. My Maya. The woman who left sticky notes with terrible puns in my briefcase, who cried during dog adoption commercials, who danced with me in our tiny kitchen at midnight. After dessert and toasts, my hands started shaking. This was it. Time to see who she really was. I stood up slowly. The room went quiet. I pulled out the velvet box, got down on one knee. Maya's face went completely pale. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. She just stared at me like I was a stranger. 10 seconds passed, 20, 30. Her mom started crying happy tears. Her dad's eyes went wide. Her aunt whispered something in Hindi to her uncle. My own mother was already reaching for tissues. "Maya," I said softly, my voice barely holding together. She burst into tears and ran to the bathroom. Her sister Priya followed immediately. I stood there frozen, ring in hand, humiliated in front of everyone, exactly like she planned. The photographer awkwardly lowered his camera. Her father put a heavy hand on my shoulder. "She's just overwhelmed, son. Give her a minute." Overwhelmed. Right. Not cruel. Not heartless. Just overwhelmed. 15 agonizing minutes later, they came back. Maya's eyes were swollen and red. Mascara streaked down her cheeks. She walked straight to me and grabbed both my hands. "I need to explain something," she sobbed. "Please just listen." I waited. The whole room waited. "Priya asked me last week if you'd ever propose. I've been dropping hints for 3 years. The jewelry store catalogs, the Pinterest boards, the comments about our future. You never seemed to notice any of it." She took a shaky breath. "I made a stupid, bitter joke about rejecting you because I was convinced you didn't want to marry me. I thought you were comfortable just dating forever. That rejection comment was me being dramatic and hurt. I never in a million years thought you were actually planning this." I stared at her. Priya stepped forward. "She's telling the truth. I actually yelled at her for saying something so cruel. She spent the rest of that call crying about how she thought you'd never ask. She was heartbroken thinking you didn't see a future with her." Maya squeezed my hands tighter, her voice cracking. "When you got down on that knee, I froze because I couldn't process that it was real. I've imagined this moment for years. I just never believed it would actually happen." I looked into her eyes, the same brown eyes I'd loved since that first date when she laughed so hard coffee came out her nose. She wasn't cruel. She was scared, insecure, just like me. "Yes," she whispered. 1,000 times yes. "I'm so sorry I froze. I'm so sorry for what I said." We got married 4 months later. Her dad walked her down the aisle crying again. Priya gave a speech about miscommunication and happy endings. Sometimes the worst thing you overhear leads to the most important conversation you'll ever have. We still laugh about that night now. Well, she laughs. I always make her sweat for a few seconds first before I smile.